Here is a 2024 Hyundai Elantra SEL with the convenience package in Amazon gray over gray and gray. We get a refresh. It's going to be a little bit more sporty for the compact car. I'm going to go over the rivals, pros and cons, and what you're getting with the SEL and the convenience package. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, starting with all trims receiving LED projected headlights, LED daytime runnings. It integrates into the matte black. When you go into the N, that's going to get gloss black. It's going to be more aggressive on the lower bumper with more of a boomerang near the air pocket. In the refresh, you can already tell a huge difference because instead of having an enlarged grille, we're getting two parts of a grille with the horizontal bars and the flat Hyundai logo. In the end, we'll get a black logo. Underneath the hood of this is going to house the 2.0 liter four-cylinder with 147 horsepower backed with 132 pound-feet of torque paired to a IVT, which is an intelligent variable transmission, also known as a CVT or a continuously variable transmission, in which you're receiving 31 mpgs for the city, 40 mpgs for the highway. Going back to the comparison, that's better than Honda, Mazda, and Toyota. Convenience package gives us these 17-inch wheels. Standard is a 16-inch wheel for the SEL. The base trim gets a 15-inch wheel, and the N will get the more sporty suspension. Here, it's going to be a little bit more basic, a McPherson strut front and a Torsum beam. So it's right on par with Mazda, but Honda and Toyota are going to have a little bit better suspension because of the way the rear is. It's a multi-link in which they give that into the N, which means the rear wheels will move independently, making it a little bit easier for cornering purposes and a smoother drive. The SE and SEL will get the matte black around the window trims. The Limited will get the chrome, and it's the same length as the prior, just a little bit more sporty. Even into the rear, kind of giving us that Sonata look for the 23 model. Standard LED tail lights will start only on the Limited trim, so SE and SEL will not receive it, and the lower is not going to get any exhaust outlets. You get the satin aluminum with the diffuser look. The N will get the dual exhaust. You have the trunk lid spoiler, and you'll have the pinstripe red that will just make it look a lot more aggressive, in which this is basically the baby brother to the Sonata. So if you're looking for performance, you go that route. If you're looking to get great MPGs and a smooth drive for your day in and day out, you go this route, because when you take the convenience package, you're not only getting the upgrades on the exterior, you will receive more interior features too. Quick release, going into 14.2 cubic feet of storage. It will sit up higher, but you're going to have more interior cargo capacity than Mazda and Toyota. 22 pounds you could fit on this. So not just milk. Pull these two levers here, and that's going to split fold the rear bench. Because I'm tall, I'm going to just go inside. That will increase the cargo, and underneath the floor, you receive a spare tire. Six-way manual adjustment for the front, 8-way power seat adjustment for the driver will start on the Limited. Because we have the convenience package, we get the heated front seats. Headroom and leg room. It's going to be driver focus. We have the wall, and we have a sleeve for the passenger. 8 speakers through Bose is only on the Limited trim. One panel with 2 screens is going to be standard, but it will be an 8-inch instead of the 10.25. This comes on the SEL and the Limited, and when you click here, you have a little quick wedge that you can go through. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio with quiet mode. Put it into reverse, and you get a reverse camera. You can change the camera positions to make it a little bit easier for reversing capabilities. Dual climate control settings. Standard is a single climate control, and we have physical buttons. So I like this because you don't have to do everything through the touch screen. Leather around the shifter and the steering wheel, that's part of the convenience package with the wireless charger. We have a 12-volt USB ports, an area tucked for your sunglasses, and the key fob for the new Elantra. Gloss black materials are going to be around everything. Not a huge fan of these walls that are put up, but it does keep a sporty look, especially the way the gauge cluster and the infotainment screen is wrapped for the driver. It's going to be a little bit more firm. It's a pretty deep storage pocket, but it is pushed back. multifunction 4-spoke steering wheel, and the gauge cluster is a 10.25 information display, which can go through an array of information, including turn-by-turn navigation. And the best part about these gauge clusters, the driving modes: Sport, Smart, and your regular normal mode. The dashboard and the door panels configuring together, the contrast stitching. I like the tweeter that comes in. This is a little lower for my liking, but it makes it a little bit more comfortable for that long drive. One touch up and down for the front windows, and a medium-sized storage pocket with a beverage holder carved out. A moonroof starts on this trim, no auto-dimming rear view mirror. The back seats, headroom and legroom. Storage will not be behind any of the front seats, but when we get the convenience package, you get it behind the passenger seat. USB ports, cup holders with an armrest, and the door is going to have the same segment, except you're noticing no contrast stitch, and the materials are going to be a lot more firm. Storage is going to be a little bit smaller, sliding into the center. The floor isn't completely flat. The rails are pushed up enough though, so feet space, you'll share a little, but in shoulder space with leg space isn't going to be too bad. In headroom, I'm at 6'3" and I can fit. 147 horsepower. So fast. Obviously, you're not buying this car for performance at that numbers. With 132 pound-feet of torque, IVT transmission, which is an intelligent variable transmission, which is basically gear ratios. It's the same thing, in which it doesn't have gear. It also makes the car a little bit slower than a traditional transmission because there isn't any gears to change. The ride is still comfortable. Upgraded wheels, you don't feel much of the imperfections in the road. The roads are pretty clean on this side of Florida. You do sit lower to the ground, so road noise will filter in a little bit more so here. The seat set to the Elantra sits up a little bit higher, in which it gives you a little bit more visual clearance to see through the larger window, in which it doesn't look that way on the exterior. It actually looks a lot more sporty. But realistically speaking, if you're wanting to go full sport, you go to the N, which will give you nearly 50% more horsepower, a better suspension, 19-inch wheels, and it's going to capture all that fun to drive. That's going to take me to some pros and cons, in which we're going to start with the pros. Ticking that box for the convenience package, it's not a huge increase in price, but it is in features, because you get the moonroof, you're getting the leather steering wheel, the leather for the shifter, heated side view mirrors, upgraded wheels, wireless charging pad. There's just a lot of amenities in which it ticks on. That's why I would personally tick the box for that. Turn radius is going to be about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Let's just drive it normal so we don't have to hear the engine so much. Now, some cons is the driver focus setup, which takes me to the big problem that I have, is this wall, because it just pushes the passenger out of the vehicle. It takes a little bit of space. They can't really use the wireless charger or the 12 volt or even the USB ports, in which, what's the purpose of having a passenger in this vehicle? It's an everyday vehicle, so take the wall down at least. I'm fine with the gauge cluster set up the way it is, but they can't even change their own climate control because the wall covers the dual climate control setting, in which when you go into the SEL, you get that. That's a feature that you're getting opposed to the SE. And the same thing with the infotainment screen. It's an 8-inch standard, you're getting a 10.25. But because it's so driver focused, it just doesn't have room for the passenger to utilize anything other than sitting in the seat and putting their hands in their lap because of the wall that integrates higher up. The back seats, you do not receive any storage. You have to tick the box for the convenience package in order to get a storage behind the passenger seat. Usually when you're getting these packages, they're giving you air vents in the back, charging ports, or home plugs. You're getting the charging ports standard. So it's not a huge benefit for the back seat. Going against competition like Toyota, Honda, and Mazda. Mazda is going to be the most soft in the interior. However, it's going to drink the most gas compared to all of the competition. Honda and Toyota is going to be more of the competition here, in which this is still better in your MPGs, but then you don't have that driver focus set up so much in the Civic or the Corolla, in which the Corolla is going to be a little bit more tight especially for the back seat occupants, whereas the Honda and Hyundai will give you the most room for the back seats. The drive is smooth enough, the steering is light enough, it's not big, so you can move in and out without having any issues there. But unfortunately, the other big problem really comes into play, that the SEL with convenience, you're about $1,000 less than the Sonata SEL, which gives you all these features standard with a larger infotainment screen, a larger gauge cluster if you take the box for the convenience package, more power underneath the hood with an 8-speed automatic transmission. So when you're thinking it's $1,000-ish less than the refreshed Sonata and you're getting a lot more value in the interior than this is the sweet spot for smaller vehicles, but they've priced the vehicle so close that it makes it a disadvantage when you're thinking, should I go Elantra or Sonata? But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood for giving us this 2024 Hyundai Elantra SEL with convenience for our car review.